Welcome to a coffee break. We didn't have one last week. I was in Wales, running along a coastal path.
What does this mean for Wales?
Oh no, I was just itching my face.
Oh.
I'm at home, so I'm able to itch my face. I don't have to worry about not touching things. No, that was just totally. That was a subconscious. Anyway, just before we hit record, got a knock at the door. I have no idea what this is.
Open it up, Dave. Come on. We're all dying to see. You dived off of the pre-record chat to see what this box is. So I'll avert my gaze down to look at you. What have we got coming? Wouldn't it be funny if it was something just disgusting? Just disgusting.
Oh no, it's not. I forgot.
Dave's new GIMP mask has arrived.
It's a microwavable heat pack that I got for my wife.
Ha! Lovely stuff.
There we go. I'd forgotten I'd ordered that.
There you go, Hayley. Don't say Dave doesn't treat you, right?
Oh, it smells nice. Right, technology news. After that interlude, I'll start, Jack, if you don't mind.
Go on.
Shirking from home. Are we doing that right now? I think this counts as work. Shirking from home. Staff feel the heat as bosses ramp up remote surveillance. This was in the Observer yesterday. It's basically an article talking about how companies are doing everything they can to basically find out whether or not their staff are at their desks. We all know that things like Teams, it has a thing where it says whether or not you're active. I didn't realise this. Earlier this year, this is towards the end of the article. Earlier this year, the consultancy PwC came under fire for developing a facial recognition tool that logs when employees are away from their computer screens whilst working from home. So according to PwC, it's designed to help financial institutions meet their compliance obligations, as workers would normally be monitored for security purposes on trading floors. For Carlo, Stilky Carlo, Director of Anti-Surveillance Charity Big Brother Watch, the increase in monitoring is proof that employees need legal protection against a desire for ever more data. The consequences are going to be wild, she says. It's not consent if you can't choose.
So are you telling me that when we're in the office, our boss is watching us like a hawk all the time over our shoulders? No, they're not. So why would they want to do it when we're at home? I read something fantastic during lockdown 1 that it was like, I want to know what all those people who are asking for working from home surveillance are doing when they're working from home, because are they're the ones that are taking the absolute piss all the time, not everyone else who's working, who's not worried about surveillance.
I think this is a fair point. Everyone who's worried about people not being productive at home.
What are they doing? Yeah.
Well, it kind of suggests to you that they just sit around doing fuck all, and
also,
therefore they're worried that everyone else is.
But the sort of horrible cycle would be that managers would then spend half of their days checking and tracking to see if their staff are online, which is not a productive way to spend your time whatsoever. I had a chat with a good friend of mine recently, and he said, so how do you do it then, Jack? What do you have your team status as during the day? What do you mean? He's like, well, I have to have mine as online if I'm like, mine is always set to a way so people don't bother me, and my manager encourages that. So I don't understand, the parallel, the entire opposite, where it's like, you've got to be online at all times at your desk, we're watching you and all this. It's like, there's a fucking pandemic going on out there. This is not easy shit working from home 24/7. It's really not. So, make it more comfortable for us. Don't open up the Big Brother telescope and just be watching us and then go, oh, I don't know, Jack's doing his third shit of the morning, so better fine him for not working hard enough.
I think you're eating too much fibre.
IBS, that's the problem.
The article makes a good point, though. The home is your home. From a mental health point of view and a privacy point of view and everything else, companies need to get that we are working from a place that is normally a sanctuary, I think, of calm and retreat. And
Safe
now
haven.
it is. Yes. So turning it into I don't know, a mini surveillance centre where you're kind of effectively clocking in and because a call at 9 o'clock in the morning that you have to be on with your video on, which is an example given in the article, is just pure Big Brother tactics.
Oh, yeah.
It's not to reduce meetings. It's to make sure that you're all there and you're in front of your computer.
Yeah, it's absolute horse bollocks, if you ask me, David.
Yeah. Trust your staff, and maybe they won't worry why you're lacking in trust of them.
To quote David Brent, who was quoting Confucius or someone like that, Trust, encouragement, reward, loyalty equals satisfaction. So there's a lot in Brentisms that is obviously awfully hilarious. But if you trust someone, the outcome will be better. You will be more satisfied as a leader. Do not whip and salt all your staff. Jesus.
Right, from David Brent to what have you got?
Look, Reddit is just a great news aggregator for technology news, Dave. I could guess your article was from UKTN or The Guardian?
Well, it was The Observer, mate.
Oh, well, so yeah, essentially The Guardian then.
Yeah, right.
My article is from Supply Chain and Dive. Shout out to @Matt Leonard, Matt_LNRD for this article. And it is FedEx teams up with reliable robotics on autonomous cargo planes.
Hang on, just to jump in, whilst you could have predicted that mine would have been something like The Guardian, I could have predicted that yours would have been about robots.
Right, yeah, come on. I mean, we are as predictable as they come. Machine learning on this show specifically could come up with a script in about 5 seconds, I think. Anyway, so FedEx are working with reliable robotics to pilot the use of an unmanned single-engine aircraft cargo for delivery. The company does not have plans to replace its current aircraft fleet with autonomous alternatives, he said, this is the CEO, adding that crews should not be worried about the technology for the foreseeable future, decades, I would say. So if I can just drill down into this a bit more, it's basically for providing delivery service and such to rural areas. So rural areas are potentially proving ground for drones. This autonomous, single passenger shuttlecraft is
single flight wouldn't be very sustainable.
Gets there, crashes, and that's it, right? But I suppose this is just maybe a drone doesn't have the wingspan or the battery capacity to get in deliverance country USA, whereas these shuttles can. So look, I think I always like it, right, when a CEO of a company is like this FedEx person is going, right, we need to disrupt, we need to push forward to the 21st century or whatever, but we need to also make sure that not everyone gets upset with us. So it's like, don't worry, your jobs are safe for a few decades anyway. It's like, I like what you're doing there. You're saving face.
Pass the buck down the road to the next generation. Yeah, but to be perfectly fair, I'm all for it, I think. And especially if we can get aircraft out of the sky that guzzle gas. If they make these electric in some way and greener, then that would be really cool. Because sitting under the Heathrow flight path, I see a lot of cargo planes going over, dumping a whole load of fuel on Richmond and Kew and everything else every day.
I mean, you talk about a lovely part of the country being under a flight path. That whole area of West London and
it does seem particularly perverse that planes scream over Kew Gardens of all places every couple of minutes.
Who thought that was a good idea, right? Like, honestly. But yeah, I mean, look, this is an example that I think is win-win-win. People get stuff delivered to them. FedEx are disrupting and changing as the days go by, and no one loses a job for now.
Robots we like.
We like robots that help, don't we, Dave?
We do. Right. Jack, thank you very much for your time today. I'll go and take this heat pack next door. And apart from that, we'll be back next week.
Cheerio.